What's going on, guys? It's Dave from FM Scout and welcome back to the second installment of Awesome Attributes. Now, in the last video we did the top 10 finishers on Football Manager 2016. Today we're going to be doing the top 10. Well, for this video it's going to be the top 11 passers on Football Manager 2016. Now, there's not as many surprises in this one as there was on the finishers one. There's a couple of players where you'd think, wow, that could be a really good signing for me actually. I never realised his passing was actually as high as it is on the game. So we're going to be going through this, and of course, as it was in the last episode, we're using the same database. So I've got 5 of the key leagues loaded across the world. I've got the huge database used, so really I'm not missing out any players here. All these players should be in your game if you've got a big enough database. Anyway, and as I say, it's of the current update of the time of the release in this video. So some of these stats may well change if we're saying to March, April, May. So don't, come at me and blame me for doing it wrong if it's that time of year, because these stats may well change. So we're going to jump straight into it and start off with the first few passes. The first player we're looking at is the German international, the 25-year-old Toni Kroos from Real Madrid. Now, his passing stat is 20, which is the best in the game, and he has some very good technical stats on this game. Now, I wouldn't be surprised to see him actually feature in Awesome Attributes again. With some of his stats, they are very strong, but he's got the best passing stats, so really he shouldn't be misplacing the ball too much. He's valued on the game at £39 million. He's earning around £170,000 a week. If you wanted to buy Toni Kroos at the start of the game, a sale value is of around £135 million, so you would have to pay up to that sort of amount to get Kroos. And his value on the fantasy draft mode, if you play that, is £39 million. So he's quite expensive, but he could be a really handy player to have. He's a really strong central midfielder. He could play defensive midfield and attacking midfield as well, which is always a positive. The second player on the list is Manchester City's Yaya Toure. Now, he's 32 years old, so he's coming into the latter stages of his career, but he's still valued at £21 million, and the Ivorian has a passing rating of 19 out of 20, so a very good passer of the ball. His technical stats, mental and physical stats are all so good. Again, he's another player I wouldn't be surprised to see feature on the series again. That passing stat is very strong. Now, if you actually wanted to buy Yaya Toure, it wouldn't actually cost you too much. It'd be around £7.1 million. The main stumbling block will be his wage demands. So if you're a smaller Premier League club, you may not be able to afford it. But on the draft mode, he's valued at £54 million, which is quite a big amount of money. But for those stats, I wouldn't argue with anything. He's very good at a defensive midfield role here. Very good at attacking midfield role here. He can even cover as a centre-back and even a forward if you wanted him to. So overall, an absolutely superb player. Despite being in his latter stages of his career, he could be an awesome purchase. The third player on my list is Mr. Luka Modric. Now, the Croatian international has a passing stat of 19. And of course, he plays for Real Madrid since he left Spurs a number of years ago. Again, very strong stats across the board, but 19 is his best stat that I can see, along with first touch there as well. Now, he's valued at £27.5 million at the start of the game, earning around £125,000 a week. But if you wanted to purchase Luka Modric, it would cost you up to around £70 million, and on draft mode he is £33 million. So a decent amount of money, one of the cheaper players on the list on the draft mode. Not the cheapest by any means, but still a very strong player to get if you wanted him at 29 years of age. He's still got quite a few seasons ahead of him, hopefully, so it could be a very good purchase. Now, another player where probably you wouldn't be surprised to be in in this list. He'll definitely be in the series again by the look of some of his stats. Is Andre Pirlo, the legend, who's 36 years old, obviously now moved to the MLS in the USA with New York City FC. Now, his technical and mental stats, that's probably one of the best in the game. Fortunately, his physical does let him down a little bit now as he's advancing on a little bit. He's got a few lower stats, such as heading and long throws, but not all players are going to be awesome at those. He's only valued at 450k, and he's only earning around 30k. He's on a 1-year contract there at New York, so he's possibly going to retire at the end of this season. If he doesn't know, if you want to try and buy him now, he'll cost you around £600,000, which I don't think is bad at all. And on the draft mode, his value is £27.5 million. Now he's the second cheapest player on draft mode in this video. But those stats are absolutely incredible. If you can get his role right, I mean, 20 first touch, 20 free kick taking, 20 passing, he could be deadly for your team. So there we go with Andrea Pirlo. The fifth player on my list is Javi Alonso, coming into the later stages of his career. He's played for Real Madrid, Liverpool, and of course now he's at Bayern Munich. He's valued at just £2.2 million, and he's earning around £135,000 a week. Got one more year left on his contract, and his passing is the best as well, 20 out of 20 for Javi Alonso. His mental stats are incredible too. Again, another player with physical stats letting him down slightly, but again, in the later stages of his career, you'd expect that. Now, Javi Alonso, if you wanted to purchase him, could be around £7 million, which I don't think is too bad at all. And on draft mode, he's valued at around £30 million. So a very strong player to sign, very solid, really. Obviously, he's retired from international football now as well. So you're going to get the full commitment off him, and hopefully not too many injuries from those international breaks. He could be a player all round that could be solid for you all season. Another legend for my list is Javi. Of course, he's been at Barcelona his whole career until this season, where he's moved to Al Sadd. He's valued at £3 million, but he's earning a lot more than Andrea Pirlo. They both had kind of big foreign moves to a degree. Pirlo only on £30,000, Javi on almost £100,000 more than that, £135,000. He's on a 2-year contract there. But again, another player with 20 out of 20 for passing. Again, he's got some awesome stats: 20 first touch, 80 technique, 16 corners, and decent free kicks as well, 15. His mental stats are absolutely incredible. Another player with physical stats slightly letting him down, but he's got very strong balance. Now, obviously, he's only valued at £3 million. To buy him, it costs you around £6 million. And on draft mode, he is £31 million. So he could be a really good player for you. Again, Javi, coming at 35 now, he's not got many years left in him, but a very strong player still. The next player on the list is Manchester City's David Silva. Now he's at 29 years of age, and he's valued at £50 million, earning around £160,000. He's got the very, very good passing stat of 19. Now, to purchase David Silva, it would set you back around £120 million. On the draft mode, he's valued at £56 million. Now, he's the most expensive player in this video on draft mode, but you can't blame, I wouldn't blame you for actually going to purchase him. Look at his technical stats, solid, 18 for dribbling, 16 crossing, 19 first touch, half decent physical stats, pretty quick player actually on this game as well. He could be an awesome attacking midfielder for you. His best roles as an advanced playmaker, and with that passing stat, you know, he's going to be slipping in your strikers all day long. So just 4 players left, and one of those is Arsenal's Mesut Ozil, the German international. He's just 26 years of age, so one of the younger players on this game, but he's still so experienced. He's played for Wolfsburg, Real Madrid, and of course he's at, it wasn't Wolfsburg, it was Werder Bremen, wasn't it? And now Arsenal, of course, got mixed up there with the Bundesliga squad. But passing stat of 19. Now he's valued at almost 40 million. He's valued 39, earning around £140,000 a week. Still got 3 years left on his contract. And for that reason, it would set you back £150 million if you wanted to buy the attacking midfielder. He's £39 million on draft mode, so it could be a very good Premier League player for you if you're using those stipulations. Of course, the German is awesome on this game and could be a really strong purchase. The next player is the youngest on the list by quite a fair bit, and it's Atletico Madrid's number 10, Oliver. Now, he's a Spanish under-21. And he's probably the biggest surprise on this list, but could be a huge signing for a few of you. Now, he's a hot prospect, earning just £15,000, well, 14.25. He's valued at just 5.5, and his passing stat is 18. Now, at the age of 20, he could be an absolutely awesome player to sign. He could have, some great growth. His physical stats are fairly solid as they are. His technical stats are pretty strong for a guy of his age, and so his mental stats. He could be one hell of a player if you wanted to sign him. At the start of the season, his sale value could only be around £13 million. So if you can convince him to move to your club, he could be a huge signing for you. His draft value is just 9.25 million for Oliver on draft mode. So he could be a very, very strong player for you. And for those managers wanting a young player to walk into your first team or grow, this guy can play all across the midfield, so he could be a real strong signing. The penultimate player on this list is Miralem Pjanic from Roma. Now, the Bosnian has got 59 caps for his country at the start of this game. He's valued at 27.5 million. He's earning almost £80,000 at Roma. His passing stat is 19 as well, so one of the strongest stats. And his best role is an advanced playmaker. He can play central attacking midfield, and he's as strong as an attacking midfielder as well. This guy's another very strong player across the board, really. Pjanic would cost you, though, £95 million if you wanted to sign him at the start of the game. Roma wouldn't accept really much less than that. But his draft value is just 29 million, so he could be a very, very good player to sign on draft mode for just under £30 million. Now, the final player on my list is number 99 at Sampdoria, the 32-year-old Antonio Cassano. A bit of a legend. He's only played 39 games for Italy. I mean, it's a good amount, but he's had a very solid career in Serie A. He's valued at just 1.8 million. He's earning just under £17,000. So this player is awesome. His technical and mental stats are fantastic, but his physical stats do let him down, unfortunately. He's not the quickest of players, but some of his stats are absolutely awesome. But his passing is 19. And for a striker, that's very, very good. His finishing's half decent too. His dribbling and crossing is awesome. So as a winger, he could be really effective, and an attacking midfielder too. But he's a striker on the game. Plays as a deep line forward. So he's a bit of a I wouldn't say a poacher as such, but like they're the best stats for deep line forward. You got your dribbling, finishing, passing, your first touch. So overall, he'll be an awesome deep line forward for you. He really would. His lowest stat is finishing at 13. But moving on quickly, if you wanted to sign him, he's only 2.5 million. So he's the cheapest player to sign on this list, and he's also the second cheapest on draft mode at just £25 million. He could be a really strong player for that sort of value on draft mode. But guys, that is the end of the list and the end of the video. So if you have enjoyed it, please do drop a like down below. Subscribe to FM Scout if you're new. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Dave as a Party. The link to that will be in the description, and you can follow both me and FM Scout on Twitter too. The links to that are in the description. But before we go, I want you to tell me, who do you think should have a better passing stat on Football Manager? Is there a player there that you think, wow, their passing stat is really poor? Sports Interactive should make it so much better. Please let me know in the comments down below. But until next time, I'll see you all soon.